Hey everybody, this is Robbie with Al Travel. Today I wanted to talk about some of the trusted traveler programs through Homeland Security slash TSA, that kind of thing. Things you deal with whenever you go to the airport. Everybody's heard the horror stories of living in large lines in some of those bigger cities. You know, it takes hours to just get through security to be able to get to your gate to leave out, which is a lot of times why historically you hear make sure you get to the airport too, at least an hour before a domestic flight, 2 hours for international, and so on. That's where all that comes from is usually because of security, not the fact that it takes you that long to get through the airport, as some people I know think. So at Tulsa, like I fly out of Tulsa all the time. Like if I'm not checking a bag, I will show up there at Southwest. The baggage guys are amazing. I usually don't show up to the airport until like 35 minutes before takeoff, park, walk in, go through security, and I'm standing at my gate whenever they start boarding 20 minutes before takeoff. Like it's clockwork. Like I don't even doubt it. Part of that is because I have TSA Pre-Check, one of those things the TSA does. So I wanted to do a quick review on them, kind of give my insights on things that I know and what I've done. I pulled up their site, and there's way more than I remember. There's like a Century program if you're driving in and out of Mexico and or Canada. There's a Nexus system for US to Canada. And then there's the two that everybody that I know, it matters to us here in Oklahoma for the most part, which is TSA Pre-Check and then Global Entry. So TSA Pre-Check is at almost every airport, at least larger airport that I've ever been in. The idea is that you're going to go through some background check, through TSA, through Homeland Security, to show that you don't have any in your past that's going to make them be suspicious of you. And so you get to go through another little sideline that the normal public doesn't go through because you've spent the time and money to do this. You don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take your computers out of your bags. Your bottles, your 3-in-1, which I hope everyone knows what I'm talking about, can stay in your bag. Leave your belt on. You just kind of chill and just walk through a medical detector. There's none of the scanner, that kind of thing. It's really quick and easy. So the trick about those is you've got to go through the screening process to make sure it's done correctly. It is, according to their website right now, it's $85. And it has to be renewed every 5 years. So $85. Remember that number, and I'll circle back into it here in a minute. Goodness, if you're flying more than a few times a year, get this thing. Not because of coming out of Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Stillwater, any of this stuff. Like anything local, that's not going to matter. It's whenever you're in a larger airport and you're coming back that it's going to benefit you. Like I have sidestepped 3-hour lines in Atlanta, Memphis, Nashville, trying to get home because I had TSA Pre-Check. Sometimes, there's other avenues like walking to the next gate, that kind of thing. You're in the next TSA Pre-Check area or a security area, which to bypass those things too. So that's domestic flights. So I actually saw a article the other day to where in the Bahamas, they're about to put in a TSA Pre-Check lane in the Bahamas, so for people coming back to the US, which is amazing. That's the first one outside of the continental US. The next step up from that is global entry. So we've just renewed our global entry for the first time. So I've had it for 5 years. Used it at least once or twice a year, every year, flying international, because it's not like just for going to Europe or Asia. It's, Mexico, Canada, it's anything local, Bahamas, any of the little countries down there. You can use it there too, whenever you're coming back. So it's not about the global entry side of things isn't about getting through security on that end faster. It's about getting through customs whenever you land faster. Everybody has seen those lines. If you've flown international, getting back, and there's just rows and rows and rows of people waiting to get through and get their little things stamped and cruise back into the US. To get global entry compared to TSA Pre-Check is a bigger deal. So you go through a similar background check. The difference is you've actually got to go to one of the global Pre-Check points of whatever to get fingerprinted and do what they call an interview, which the interview is basically you show up, they see you, they check your documents, they do your fingerprinting, and then do your facial recognition, which gets entered in the computer. For us here in Tulsa, it was either go to Denver or Dallas. We drove down to Dallas to do it. I know I've got a friend that flew out to Phoenix to do it, just because it was like a $50 flight and he wanted to spend the weekend scenario. But you actually have to go. You've got to make an appointment, which couldn't be a long time, to go get that done. Now, I say all that to say that right now, because of COVID, they weren't doing those things. Like anybody within 30 days of expiration of their pre-check or global entry, they're rubber stamping it like you're okay as long as there's nothing on your record that they need to be worried about. They're letting you go for good until they're ready to start doing the interviews again. So my wife, she got hers done. Hers is up at the end of March, and so hers is already rubber stamped. Like she's good to go for another like 18 months, I think is what it said. Mine doesn't expire till May, and so mine's still sitting and pending. But everything I've got planned for travel is good to go. They do have now to where if you're within so many days, you can actually schedule outside of like the normal like interview. You can go through one of those places if you're there, and they can do it on the spot while you're there in transit to go ahead and get the stuff done to where you don't have to make a special trip, which is great. That is $100 and it renews every 5 years. So it is $15 more. And so TSA PreCheck is just for air. All right. The global entry is for return to US air, land, or sea. And it's $15 more. Now, let me tell you what it's, I mentioned the big line. So whenever we walk back into the US, we go down and we see the line, and then way over in the corner, there's this global entry area. And you walk in and you walk up, you scan your passport. The computer runs facial recognition on you, and it prints out a slip, and it says, okay, you're good to go. And you walk out of customs. No one talks to you. No one asks you anything. There might be somebody standing there to make sure you've got a piece of paper in your hand, but that's it. Like it is all computerized to make sure you're a good person. You're okay to be in this country. That's it. And it's awesome. I totally recommend it. So if you're interested in any of that and if you want help with the paperwork or learning a little bit more about it, let me know. I'm more than welcome to help with that. There's a whole bunch of other little nuances depending on what country you're going into that the whole COVID world is creating. But I'll go into some of that in some other videos. But if you have any questions on, whether it be TSA PreCheck or global entry, let me know, and we'll see you out there traveling. Thank you. Have a great day.